The most beautiful things in this world cannot be seen or even heard, but must be felt with the heart. It's written on a building downtown. Helen Keller said it. There is no time here, but Vermont seasons really mean it when they happen. So many images come to mind as I see myself as a child chasing lightning bugs, capturing fireflies in a mason jar to light up our rooms. When I was a child, I was taught a love and respect for nature by my botany professor father, Franklin Adams, who was a wonderful mixture of Jacques Cousteau and Donald Duck. The fall of brightly colored leaves, reds, orange, yellow, even purple, cushion the path with the beauty of nature's psychedelic display. Rabbits, foxes, raccoons, owls. My father studied and taught at the University of New Hampshire. My siblings and I lived in a place called Forest Park Apartments, of which I especially recall the woods. Our camping trips, canoeing, fishing, the lakes and streams, sometimes just collecting specimens for Dad. My siblings and I were often climbing trees, hiking, building forts, and finding secret hideaways. Out there, we could be Robin Hood, the Lone Ranger, the Three Musketeers, and we were nature scientists. There were these thick green bushes about 3 feet high. You could crawl under into a sort of central den of isolation. When alone in the woods, we could hide there, and others would walk by just feet away, and we would go undiscovered. When alone in the woods, only the sounds of the wind in the trees, birds, a dog far away, the clickety-clackety sound it makes when you put baseball cards on your bicycle spokes. Only the sounds and smell of the woods would comfort me whenever I got in what I call a Dennis the Menace mood. The woods would comfort me. The very air we breathe is crisp as an apple. It was a true Dennis the Menace morning on November 22nd, 1963, and for a timeout, I was sent to the office for chalk. But the office was fractured. People were crying. Adults. And when I asked for the chalk, I was told to go back to my classroom and tell the teacher that the president had been shot and the bell would ring early. Wow. This was a very big deal. I ran back into my classroom and tried to tell Mrs. Watson, but she slapped my cheek hard. Said, "Don't ever say anything like that again." There was even a handprint on my face, I was told later. But then the bell did ring early, and Mrs. Watson sat down as I, crying, holding my wounded cheek, walked across the UNH campus with my big brother and my little sister. I burst into the living room ready to tell Dad about the teacher. He shushed me angrily. He was just feet from the TV watching the coverage of JFK's assassination. I ran away to my forest hideaway and just lay there feeling the earth under my back, smelling the pines, hearing the other kids playing, thinking if I ever got to be a teacher, I would never hit my students. Well, as the dusk gathers itself and the November temperatures begin to plummet, I thank my secret fort for being there for me always. Some squirrel or something up above in the trees drops something. It's the final signal that even a very bad and sad sort of day will eventually end. I trundle towards home for its warm comfort.